Welcome back to the program. This is Capital Market, live on Channels Television. Now, the federal government introduced the tax amnesty for taxpayers in July last year, and the program, which is known as Voluntary Asset and Income Declaration, popularly called VAIDS, is a time-limited opportunity for taxpayers to regularize their tax status in relation with tax past periods when it comes to payments of tax. Mr. Albert Folonshaw, the managing partner at PW Consulting, joins us now to analyze how this scheme relates with the Nigerian capital markets. Thank you very much, sir, for making it down to the program this evening.
Thank you.
So walk us through what VAIDS means for the Nigerian capital markets, where equities and bonds as well as treasury bills actually trade.
Okay. VAIDS, like we said, is a voluntary assets and income declaration scheme. It is an amnesty period came up with by the Minister of Finance, the federal government, to give opportunity to non-compliant taxpayer to regularize their tax status. Okay, such that after the scheme, government have enough information to now go after non-compliant taxpayers. So it's just like a window. Or before we come after you, please come forward voluntarily, declare your assets, your income, and pay the appropriate tax. Now, for the capital market, recently the SEC, requested the capital market operators to be fully compliant, and of course, is a fund center, which means a lot of investment are in the capital market, and so if federal government is mining information, they will be interested in funds in the capital market. They will be interested in those who have properties both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And of course, at the end of the day, they want to be sure that all the operators in the market are fully tax compliant. And of course, that is expected to boost the confidence of investors. If you want to invest in any company, you want to be sure such a company will deliver on what they have promised. And one way of delivering is if they are tax compliant.
But is the capital market, stock market, so to say, a major area where VAIDS will be more relevant at this time?
Of course, the capital markets, a lot of funds, fund inflow from both outside Nigeria and within Nigeria. Because of the exchange of information arrangement between the federal government and several other countries, most of those other countries are actually requesting those who have funds outside Nigeria to defend with the evidence of payment of tax. And of course, we expect such to have a ripple effect on the capital market, as more people will prefer to invest in the capital market. And of course, trading on shares and stocks are, they enjoy tax relief. There's no tax on gain on disposal of shares. If you invest in treasury bill, the interest is also tax exempt, or any of the federal government or corporate bonds, they're exempt. So it is expected that as a result of the fact that people are required to now defend the fund they have, right, okay, is an area that people will definitely want to invest their fund.
And I know over time we've had this lingering issue of withholding tax with companies, in the capital markets, where you have a major investor as a shareholder or as an executive board member in a company, and you still have to tax the company. At the same time, you have to tax the investments of that investor. But in terms of the company now, how much is expected of this company when it comes to VAIDS?
Companies are expected to check their records to be sure that they are in tax compliance in terms of company income tax, which is at the rate of 30%. Have they been deducting and remitting withholding tax, which is an obligation on companies as agent of government, corporate body, to deduct and remit withholding tax to the relevant tax authority. They are also expected to charge VAT. Okay, most of the transactions in the capital market are not liable to VAT. Okay, so that is an area of relief. But of course, all of these taxes, including capital gains tax, okay, companies are expected to check their record to be sure that they are fully compliant. If not, they can take opportunity of this scheme to carry out a health check on their level of compliance, and if there is any shortfall within the VAIDS period, they can quickly complete the form, make a declaration, and pay without penalty and interest. Right. Okay, even though the waiver now is only on penalty.
Penalty.
Yes.
Because the interest-free window has already elapsed on December the 31st.
Yeah. But of course, people are still engaging with the tax people, and they may just oblige.
Okay, on the part of operators on the capital market, and that's as to compliance level now, how much of compliance and declarations have we seen from operators like the brokers, like traders and dealers in the capital market and stock market precisely? Well,
declaration is to be made to the relevant tax authority. I don't have record of how many people have made declaration.
So it goes to FIRS?
Yes. If you are a corporate body, your declaration will be made to the Federal Revenue Service. And if you are an individual, the declaration is to the State Internal Revenue Service where you are resident. I am sure that Nigeria likes last-minute rush. I understand there is increase in the level of activity as far as VAIDS is concerned, and so we expect that more people will come forward and make declaration. Both capital market operators. It is not a compulsory scheme. So it is only where you think and you have confirmed that you have shortfall in your tax compliance. So as a limited liability company, if you really have been filing your returns, promptly and correctly, you really don't have anything to do with
just as we close now, for a company that fails, of course they're listed, they have millions of shareholders. For a company that fails to actually comply, what becomes of that company?
Well, like I said, VAIDS is an amnesty period. It's a scheme that is made available for a short period of time. And what government is saying is that, see, we have your details. We have your record. We have the assets you have. With BVN, we know how much fund. So you need, after the scheme, if government have those records, they will now come after the taxpayers who have failed to comply. And at that time, there will be no more amnesty, no more waiver of interest, no more waiver of a penalty. And the 6 years period that is being limited to now can be extended beyond that, because the tax authority can go back as far as possible.
All right, so, well, March 31st of this year is actually the deadline to actually avoid penalties and, of course, the interest, which is ongoing at this point in time when it comes to negotiation. Thank you, Mr. Albert Folonshaw, for coming down to explain all of this to us as to how it relates to the capital market. Really appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Albert Folonshaw is the managing partner at PW Consultant Limited. Well, next week we should watch out for a couple of events in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We expect the 2017 review and the Outlook 2018 to be presented on Tuesday, while the NSA public lecture on derivatives will also hold on Thursday, as well as the NSG Economic Outlook to be presented on Thursday. On that note, that's it on the program this evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Temple Ashaju. I'll see you again next time.